All right, so I guess we'll start. It's 4:02. I think there's some other folks who probably don't want to join us shortly here. So I guess we can start with a little introductions and then jump into the conversation. Anybody else who joins in, we can bring them up to speed pretty quick. Introduce myself. My name is Calvin. Uh, started a software company that helps CI professionals to create cultures of Kaizen, helps develop people through Lean Six Sigma certification, helps put the principles to practice with a Kaizen project management software. So it's a two-part system that works together to help CI leaders to be more effective. So
I work for Sunbear Aerospace.
okay.
We overhaul and repair landing gear, and then cargo systems and a lot of avionics. So it's a little bit of everything, and it's a company that's very new to continuous improvement. Director of CI. So
Director CI. Okay, good. Okay, well, appreciate you joining us. Should be an interesting conversation. Jung Lee, how are you today? Did I pronounce that right?
You did. Hello,
Close enough.
everyone.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Glad you could join us. If you don't mind giving a brief intro, and then we'll get off into the conversation.
Sure. My name is Jung Lee. I am with Google. I'm a continuous improvement program manager.
I got a lot of questions for you, but my first one is OpenAI or Gemini?
Gemini.
Right answer. That's the right answer.
That was not a trick question.
Fair enough.
Gemini all the way.
Hi, my name is Robert Perry. I'm the Director of Continuous Improvement and Engineering for Havasit. We are a manufacturer of conveyor belts.
And today's topic is, how are we as continuous improvement professionals utilizing AI within our organizations? Everybody's talking about AI. It's different people with different opinions. All good, John. Want to know what you guys are doing and share ideas, hear ideas from others in our space, and just open up the space for us to have to learn and grow from each other. So anybody want to kick us off? What are some of the things you're seeing in your job and your function, and how are you using AI to better do what you do?
I can start because mine will go quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Because there's not really a lot there, but I use it for different things. For instance, if I'm writing somebody a TWI job instruction, TWI format job instruction, and I'm writing it on something that I really know nothing about, I'll sit with them and write it. I'll throw it into AI and ask it to take a look at FARs and customer type requirements, and for whatever metals we're dealing with, and then break it out into the whys using that along with the hows. And it does a really good job of pulling all that stuff in. I can then take it to a quality manager or something and say, hey, validate this, and it's usually pretty quick.
So are you using just the publicly available platforms, ChatGPT, Gemini, any of the others, or you guys got like an internal AI system? How's that? Are you doing that?
We have was it Microsoft 365 Copilot, and we have and the other Copilot is what we have that's part of our system, and that's what I'm using. The free versions of those that come with our systems.
I see. So is it drawing from publicly available data, or is it tapping into your internal, private data also, or how's that part working?
So we're actually working on that part of it, but for right now, it's pulling from external. We don't have it linked to internal yet. That's something IT is working on.
That's to come.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Sounds like you got some good stuff going.
Got some stuff.
Anybody want to go next?
Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah, I'll go.
How you guys using AI currently?
Go ahead, Robert. I use it for summarizing documents. So trying to come up with new ideas. So if there's long articles and stuff, I'll throw it into ChatGPT or Copilot, have it summarize it. And then if it's something that I feel is worth my while, then I'll read the article. So that's helping me. It's streamlining the amount of time, to get ideas and do some competitive research, if you will, market intelligence, if you will. I also, like if I write a report, I'll throw it in there, see if it can make it, make it better. So, or to look for ways to enhance, or I'll add different prompts regarding, okay, what am I missing, or what can I do to make it more engaging, or look at it from a different perspective. So I use it for that.
Just almost like a partner, like a thought partner almost,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We use ChatGPT and we have Microsoft Copilot. We have a partnership, membership at our company, so I use that. And then
is it like a private version?
Yeah, it's private, correct. And then I use if I have a bunch of data and I don't feel like doing mini tabs, I've just started recently throwing it into AI and asking it to do some predictive analytics, and then I compare it to Minitab just to see how good it is. And so far it's been pretty decent. So that's streamlining the process and allowing me to get more done faster, increase my productivity.
All right. So full disclosure, Jean works for Google. So her boss provides a AI system. So
Okay.
who knows? Maybe maybe she can convince the John, you and Robert to also to use Gemini more often. I like Gemini. I've actually moved from ChatGPT to Gemini recently. So
I went from Avery Dennison to Sunbear, and Avery Dennison we used all Google products, so we use Gemini. So
all right, you're up, Jean. You want to share with us how you're using AI specifically in continuous improvement? Like what's working for you right now?
So it's part of my day-to-day DNA, I would say. So since I do work for Google, right, I have access to all of the inside tools. But I think what I could kind of share with you all is that Notebook LM is available to everyone, and it's a free service.
That is my favorite. That is my favorite AI app right now.
So what's really cool about it, and I'm sure maybe a Copilot, and I don't know much about Microsoft products anymore since I've been with Google about 6.5 years. So what's cool about it is that, like, John, maybe this might be helpful for you, right? Is that you upload all of the files, right? It could be downloadable. And you just create this notebook of all these different files. And then that is essentially you're creating your own library. And from there, you can just tell command, right? Hey, I want you to, based on all of these files, or you can be discreetly identify certain files, right? Say, hey, I want you to create a job description based on these inputs with these specifications, and it'll just do it for you. And you can say, hey, I'm a director of operations and I'm trying to create a job profile for plant manager, blah, blah, blah. And you reference it. And so you pretty much tell who you are, who the audience is, and what you're looking for. And you just give those commands, and it'll just do that. So it's essentially, instead of going to the wide world, you're kind of extracting from the sources that you need.
So what was that program again?
Notebook LLM. Hang on a second.
So
in my opinion, it's the best AI app that I've used so far.
One of the things that our company's trying to do this year, it's actually on our strategic plan for our Tulsa site, is how do we embed AI into our processes, to our everyday processes? Some of that is, I'm a technician, I'm troubleshooting something. How can I go to our system and say, here's the problem? And the system go to our database and say, look, we've seen that 22 times before, and these are the 3 things that typically cause it. We've got all the stuff. We use Quantum. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but we've got all the data in systems getting to it is not something our technicians can do on an easy basis.
That sounds
you,
like
Rob.
what improver now. You get into improver AI now. But yeah, so I love Notebook LM. I think that's one of the best. Now, question though, is there like an enterprise version that can tap into an entire file directory type of thing? Because I know
us, for if you have the pro version, and I think if you have an enterprise version, it could kind of query everything within your systems. So I have the enterprise system, like I have the pro version, and then see, I can't actually share but what I've done, like what the features it has is that it'll create videos for you, like training videos. So like, I haven't used it, and I'm gonna kind of dabble into it. A lot of my colleagues have just kind of dumped a whole bunch of stuff in there, and they've created like training videos, and slides. So it could do those videos really easily. It could do mind map. It could create reports. It could create flashcards. It could create like data tables. So it could do a lot of things based on what you're just creating that library and saying, hey, this is what I want. Or I guess for
that's isn't Notebook LM the one that got famous for like the realistic sounding podcasts? Isn't that the same? Didn't it do that too? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
John, you got a question?
Yeah, I was going to say, as you're going through that, John, so many things come to mind because I'm constantly filming work processes. And what I like to do during the work process is I like to have somebody tell me what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it that way. So I'm now wondering if I take that video and just simply upload it to something like this Notebook LM, can it then create my job instruction?
Yeah.
You know how much time that would save me?
Literally, you say like who you are, and you say, hey, take this video, and you're pretty much telling it. It's essentially like you got to kind of, so for majority of the, so we have like, not everybody wants, you to use AI in your day-to-day, right? So we have this training that everybody takes, and really the key thing is like how you actually the commands that you're telling. And the best way I can think of it is that who am I talking to, right? And then it's just kind of like you telling your subordinate, like, I want you to do this. I want you to deliver this. So you kind of talk to it as if you're talking to a human. And you just, and then if it, obviously sometimes it'll hallucinate, right? And you'll say, no, that's not what I meant. And the more you tell it, the better it becomes. And we have essentially Gemini embedded with all of our applications. So Gmail, Sheets, Slides, Doc, everything. So I don't have the luxury of, I don't have access to Minitab. I don't have access to Visio. I don't have access to Excel. So to try to do like a basic Pareto in Sheets is a pain in the butt. So what I do is that, so you have to create these different like distributions and categorize it, right? So I just have a data set and I just say, hey, I want you to create I have to kind of use different like terminology, right? I say, I want you to create a Pareto in increments of this. And then I need you to create a cumulative distribution function associated with that. Before like Gemini and how we improved it, I would spend hours doing that. Now it's just at a fingertip. I can just generate, a Pareto, and I can just change kind of the scale however I want and tell that story in a very simple way. Versus before I would have to spend so much time. And emails, like simple emails, it just I use escalation emails. Like Gemini AI is amazing for creating escalation emails. I would type it, and you think it sounds great, but then I tell it, hey, I am sending this to my leadership, my VP levels. Make this as concise as possible, and the template. And so it has helped me because, yeah, so I think in terms of communicating, conveying data, and then ability to kind of summarize some of like things that I'm doing, I use it day to day. A lot of other people, like I haven't got into vibe coding, but if you get into vibe coding, I think it can do a lot of the things that is sucking up a lot of your time. So it might be like beneficial to ask some of your younger employees to kind of tap into it. I actually carpool with 5 people, because from Midtown and I live in East Cobb, it takes a long time. And there's 2 guys, they're really into vibe coding and they like to code, but they're not programmers. So they just kind of dabble into all kinds of different tools to make their lives easier. And this one guy created his own little app to make his life easier at work. So that's Googlers like, implement like efficiency and like, communicate those type of things. Getting away from the manual way that we used to do.
So John, Robert, now I think you have like a lot of stuff that Jean was talking about. You kind of got to be on the Google platform. You guys are on the Microsoft platform. So
Right.
are there anything, and I don't know, some companies don't even allow you to get on Google like that, right? Without, some other stuff, security stuff. But are you guys able to do, what kind of cool stuff are y'all able to do on the Microsoft platform?
So I'll have
Nothing like that.
Google. I'm interested in some of the stuff that Joan's talking about, but some of the stuff I do now, I haven't tried to take it to that next level yet that you're talking about, John. But I've been having, AI teach me business objects and helping me write better formulas in Excel versus uploading my Excel sheet and telling AI to do something with it. So I think that's my next step. So
interesting. Yeah.
So
we go ahead, Robert.
In our case, we are one of our bosses is using Gemini. He's creating an AI model. What we're trying to do is in our production planning department, after an order is placed, we have to select materials, and depending on the width and trying to select the right material to minimize waste, scrap. So he's been working on a model and using AI to help with that selection process. So that's the only thing that I know of where we're using Gemini, okay, right now. And I think he's doing that on his own. And then, bringing it in.
Little skunk works project there.
Yeah. I've been challenged to look for ways to improve efficiency, right? Where we're doing a lot of redundant tasks. How can we utilize AI for that? I haven't had the time to really dive into it. I prefer to partner with somebody that could, even a consultant that, could come in and help show us the ropes, give us some training, and go through some applications where we could actually create some things like a mini Kaizen or something like that, where we could, implement and demonstrate proficiency and learn how to apply it. Then I think it would take off faster because the learning curve is the learning curve.
Yeah, you might need to check out some of our stuff at Improver. You might get some good ideas from.
Okay.
So when it comes to like lean projects, somebody mentioned Kaizen projects, lean tools, right? Somebody mentioned Pareto. There's a whole bunch of lean tools, Lean and Six Sigma tools. Like, have you guys thought much about thinking about like things like root cause analysis and all of that? how AI might apply toward getting more of a Kaizen culture developed within the company?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
I was going to say, no.
But I am doing Kaizens. A couple weeks ago, we just did a value stream map and we identified a bunch of projects. And so I think the project leader could have used some of the AI tools to help prioritize the activities for our continuous improvement plan. We just haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah. Sean, got any thoughts on that? I know you're doing CI at Google.
So when
And I guess I kind of look at it like creating a culture of Kaizen, right? It's one thing that you can do stuff yourself. It's another thing to try to get everybody, making everybody every day type of thing. So have you seen any good applications for it?
I mean, in terms of doing value stream mapping and Kaizens, I think those things you got to bring the people together. Like, right, you kind of have to go back to the rudimentary way. I think, however, once you digitize all that, I'm hoping, we haven't tried it yet, right? I'm hoping that, like, here's the other difficulty part is that we use Lucid Charts and Miro, they're not really Google tools per se. So I think that's an area where, once you map out everything, and then now you got to kind of do the pick method and then prioritize all of that, right? And all of that is kind of manual translation. I'm hoping that some of that could be accelerated through, some of the AI functionalities, like take what I have, collect all of that and put it in a format for me so that we can easily rate it, or it could help us kind of do the scoring a little bit better. But that part, we haven't done it, like,
I guess you gotta first go from like analog to digital, and then I guess that's the thing about lean, right? Is we were all, I know I was, and probably y'all too, we were taught lean all analog, almost like it had to be analog, right? There's no other way.
Right.
And I think a lot of that was developed and built before digital had advanced the way it has. And lean, I think, has been slow to adopt, technology, generally speaking. So
that's the issue. So how do I think part of it is that I think I'm gonna reach out to the Lucid Charts people and say, you guys have to figure out how to make this. So my team has kind of adopted both, right? Instead of like doing everything like manual way, we have somebody, like we have like 2 or 3 facilitators going. One person is facilitating manually, and the other person is there literally digitizing as we go. But then once you digitize that, you got to be able to translate that into like an Excel or sheet or something, right? And then, but then you got the stickies, and we just put it in like the 4 quadrants, and someone's just trying to do this. So it's kind of cumbersome. And like, I think the problem is that in a traditional manufacturing, right, it's embodied very well. At Google, it's not. It's not really adopted as well, because we started out as a software company, right? And we believe in this agile methodology, and you just kind of continuously perfect it, right? But you don't even know what is changing. So everything's constantly changing, and you don't know what's right. And like sometimes you have to kind of have a control before you can do something. And like this whole concept of like agile to like repeatable process, it kind of conflicts. It conflicts itself. So as a
But it's just because to implement AI, like to its maximum potential, you have to have a stable process. And if you don't have a stable process, sorry, my camera. If you don't have a stable process, you cannot automate tasks. So right now, I think most people is stuck in the just talking to AI. And yes, we are making, we're producing data and decisions and things like that a little faster. Like with the notebook LN, we feed it, we get something really fast. But that still was a human machine interaction. And I think we're missing a lot of opportunities in letting the machine do more of a chain in the process. But like John
It's gonna
said,
be.
if you don't have a stable process, you cannot automate it.
I think it's
Absolutely.
gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting when the AI starts saying, "Hey, you got a problem over here, and here's how to fix it. Go do it."
Mhm.
Before anybody even knows that there's an issue, and it's already seen the issue and given the solution. Is that too far? What do y'all think? Would that be helpful? Was that taking too much away from developing people as problem solvers and all the rest?
Now, I think it can take a little bit more, do more. Like, for example, if you have predictive analytics, the AI can identify an issue, contact the mechanic, schedule the visit, and it will be saving a lot of time. But for that, you have to have the data and the systems have to be connected. So I think we're a little bit ways from that because of that system connectivity. Because, for example, today, most of us have VMs, for example. But a lot of people I talk to say they cannot trust the data from the VM. So how is the AI going to make decisions based on the VM if the data is not reliable? So I think we have to clean up a lot of the system and
So
processes.
just think about that for a second, though, right? You got issue happens, or something is developing, an issue is developing, and the AI sees the issue, figures out the solution, schedules a work order, right? The operator, the supervisor, and few other people are left completely out of that loop. Is that something we want the AI to? Do we want to keep? You know, do we want to keep those key owners in the loop of that process, or is it let the machine do it all? I mean, how far down this road do we really want to go as CI leaders?
I mean, you think about Toyota with I can never get the word right. Automation with a human touch. So you
Right.
automate that process with some method that those people that are not in the process can at least have the opportunity to stop it.
Or at least like ping the operator, hey, this is what I think we should do.
Right.
Do you approve?
Right.
Let them check the box,
Because it is a learning model, right? And so it's only going to get better as the input improves. So there's going to have to be intense interaction between humans and the technology up front while we figure out those decision trees as to which way to go based on the situation, right? So that's going to take time. So there has to be interaction between the interface and humans, I think, for a while.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like I think where a lot of lean opportunities get missed is in the triggering of lean action.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of situations where a lean tool could get applied or a lean project could help the business that just never, those conversations don't happen. Those lean activities don't get triggered. Right. All the those applications get missed. I'm almost thinking if AI can help with that, first that initial like, hey, there's a problem, we should go do a 5Y or we should go do a Kaizen event. That part right there will probably stimulate a lot more lean activity where it should happen in the business.
Yeah, and you think about one of the biggest conflicts we fight is somebody says, I need a root cause analysis for that, right? Or I need root cause. And they're like, no, it's not that big of a deal. So you put the controls in place and AI says, now you've got to have one.
Mm-hmm.
So you take human component out of it, which, you know, I hate taking the human component out, but at the same time, you take the pressure off of the supervisor, the manager, that now he doesn't have to have that argument. Our system
There you
says,
go.
because
There you go. Right. And if you think about like our tech stack inside of businesses today, where you got tons of data floating around, you know, the machine probably the cloud machine probably knows when there should be some action better than people, because people, you got to have a meeting, you got to tell somebody, they got to come out, they got to see it, right? Think about all the data floating around in our businesses. You probably can pick up on, hey, here's an application for you know, a DMAIC. Here's an application for a fishbone analysis, and then automatically trigger that, right, and assign it to somebody and get it going.
I'm sitting here asking AI questions as we go.
I think I've become very used to asking AI questions for everything, using the
Yeah.
notebook LM. I love that one. But I
Yeah.
think within organization, you have to, I guess it's the, how do you say, like the problem solving, critical thinking, how you interact
Yeah.
with AI, because if you change jobs, each company is going to have a different tech stack. But in the basis, you just need to know how to prompt.
Well, you know, so you guys, I accidentally did this a couple of weeks ago without thinking about it, but I was in the process of a 5 why analysis, and we just weren't getting anywhere. And somebody was happened to be sitting there. I said, hey, type that into Copilot and ask how it should ask that question. And they put the problem statement in there and said, what should the first why be? And it gave us a really good why. And then we said, okay, what should the next why be? And it gave us another question. And we ended up getting to a pretty close to solid root cause just by having AI ask us the whys.
That's interesting. So in that case, you got the AI sort of facilitating the use of lean tools, right? And maybe guiding people through a conversation.
You know how sometimes you'll ask the why the wrong way and it'll take you down a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, right.
AI
Right. Framing.
do that and keep us focused.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and 5 why, man. 5 why can probably solve 95% of business between that and fishbowl. I mean,
Sure.
if everybody knew how to do that, you'd probably be
Right.
overall much better off as a business.
Oh,
Then they wouldn't need us, so we'd be out of a job.
Well, I mean, that's another. I mean, that's a fair point, right? And everybody's thinking AI is going to take everybody's job, right? You know, that's kind of the Chicken Little version of the AI story. I mean, what's the role of a CI leader in the future with you know with all this stuff that's coming through?
For me, I think I don't see AI as a threat. I see it as, you know, a different set of tools that we can use to hit our objectives, right? And so it's how do we embrace that change agents? We have to prepare the organization and live by, you know, walk the talk. We show them how to embrace new technologies and how to apply it, and how to make things better, and to sell it. So I think that's the way, from a CI perspective, how we have to, you know, position AI. Because you're right, I do hear people on the floor basically saying AI is going to take my job, right? And so it's, you know, what we're trying to do is reduce costs and increase productivity. But in some instances, we can redeploy people from one place to another.
Yeah, and if you know if the business is doing better and growing, that should be work for people too, right? Move people to those growing areas that may need a lot of development work.
Exactly.
Need all the things, all the resources in order to capitalize on the growth.
Right.
I was listening to a guy yesterday. Saying that AI was going to cause doubling and tripling and quadrupling of GDP.
Yeah.
Numbers we can't even imagine today.
Right.
Not sure if he's blowing smoke or not, but you know, I can only hope so. I can only be optimistic and hope so.
Right.
Maria?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, how are you guys staying on top of what AI has to offer and learning new things? And because it's advancing so fast, it's like every day they have a new capability and something new you can do.
Right.
And we're kind of stuck on just asking ChatGPT questions, you know. So I wonder how we could maybe accelerate that implementation and keeping up with what's going on.
Yeah, I just had my performance review and reviewed my objectives for this year. So one of the focused efforts for me is to better align with AI, using it for strategy and identifying specific tools and or processes that we can apply here. So because it's part of my objectives, right, it's going to force me to focus some time, spend time on it, right? So I'm making a commitment to at least once a week start spending some time doing some research, partnering with vendors, et cetera, to see, you know, what tools, you know, here's our current state. Here are some of the issues and challenges that I'm dealing with. What potential tools do you have that can help me solve these problems? So that's going to be my approach. And
Have
then
you bought any tools lately that you can share?
we have Microsoft Copilot and I have ChatGPT. So those are the primary AI tools that I have at my disposal.
We got an event coming up called AI and OpEx, and we're going to share some of the things we're doing. We're innovating a lot with AI for continuous improvement. So if at worst, if you came and checked it out, I'm sure you'd hear some interesting ideas,
Yeah.
you know, applying AI in the lean space,
Yeah.
technologically wise. At best, maybe you'll come out with something you can readily apply, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a mandate now. So
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to talk to you about what we're doing. You might find some of it interesting. So good. All right. So we're about there on time. It's been a great conversation. I mean, I'm learning a ton from you guys as to how you're thinking about AI, and Zhang as well. I'm glad she popped in because she shared a lot of great ideas too. And I think this is maybe the beginning of a much bigger conversation. I think there's probably a ton of opportunity that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface as CI people, you know, not only in tech. CI got to get to tech first, and then AI, right? So I think there's still a lot to be discovered there. So